Oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? Cody from the CreekWater Cooks shooting video indoors. Thing is, want to do a little gear video. Had some requests. Shoot one on my bug out bag. For those of y'all that don't know, it's a prepper thing. When the apocalypse hits and the zombies attack, you want to grab your backpack and get out of Dodge. Uh, More of a survivalist than a prepper. I do think things might go that way someday. Let's just leave it at that. But I thought it was an interesting challenge as a hiker, backpacker, and an adventurer in general. Excuse me. So I took the challenge last summer, set up an end of the world bag. Most people, I've even been to a FEMA sponsored event here in Chesterfield County, Virginia. It kind of shows you how to set up the 3-day bag. That's the big recommendation, is 72 hours worth of food and water and clothing. And I kind of went a little beyond that, and mine's kind of for walking out and doing whatever. I might not necessarily be coming home when I walk out the door. An earthquake might knock my apartment building down. You never know. So this is kind of a indefinite go bag, but mine's also geared more towards, last minute kind of stuff. Hey Cody, want to go fishing? Grab my pack, go. Hey man, we're going camping this weekend. Oh, last minute, grab it, rock and roll. Leave a little bit of room in this thing. It's one thing I noticed watching a lot of these guys' YouTube videos and whatnot when I was setting up my go bag, was that they're stuffed to the brim. That and things that might not call necessities. But I'll show you what I put in my pack and my end of the world kit, and y'all YouTubers can pick me apart and tell me what I did wrong. I guess I'll start with the pack. It's just a small SOG military spec pack, I guess. It's relatively cheap, man. I think I picked this up for $20 or $30 at Walmart. Could have done without the camo, but that's all right. It'll blend in. I can hide from the special forces or the jihadis or whoever it is I'm hiding from in the woods when I bug out. Yeah, just a nice small pack. Well, I've also got a couple of side items. Number one, never go in the woods without it. My granddaddy's World War II Navy machete. This thing's hit Iwo Jima, Saipan. It's also hit the Appalachian Trail. Firewood chopper, trail cleaner, self-defense if necessary. Same thing with this. It's a Christmas gift from my mama years ago. It's a muley. It's about a 6-inch blade on there. Saw on the back. I've done some butchering with it. It's good to have, hunting knife, fishing. Good general using knife too. Good tool. Those custom straps. I can actually strap this on along with the bug out bag. Easy access. Secondary. I have this guy. This is my sidekick. It's a pellet gun. 8-shot revolver clip. 8 shots on each side. 16 shots. CO2. Pop CO2 cartridge in the handle. This thing shoots what is it? I wrote it in here actually. 450 feet per second. It's not as strong as some of the pellet rifles. It's a lot smaller and easier to carry and take down birds, squirrels, small game, rabbits and such. Enough to feed you, and do it silently. Carry a 22 or a rifle or deer rifle, shotgun. It's a lot of noise. You might not want to be giving away your location. A lot of guys think the stuff's gonna hit the fan and they're gonna kick their front door open with their AR-15 and they're gonna Rambo through everybody, and that's just that's fantasy land. In that kind of situation, you would want to get yourself, escape and evade. You want to get away from everyone as quickly as possible. I'm making this video 2 days after Thanksgiving, Yesterday I was watching some videos from Walmarts and Targets of the craziness of Black Friday. If people freak out and fight like that to get half price flat screen TVs, imagine what they're going to do if a nuclear bomb went off in Chicago, or the economy collapses and lima beans are $10 a can. You're going to want to get away from all that madness and find your own sources of shelter, food, water. And that's what the bug out kit's really about. Covering all your bases. It's grab and go. I want to have a food source, fire source, warmth, light, first aid, water cleaning, all the above. Well, let's see what we got here. Let's dig into the pack. First of all, we have the backpack itself. Keep this paracord bracelet for a strap. I hook my spurs on there a lot when I go riding. Maybe my lasso, just different, little grab and go items that won't quite fit in your pack. Pop it right there. Up front, we have the Sea to Summit 5-liter kitchen sink, collapsible water bucket. Thing is awesome. It's come in handy a lot. It's a leave no trace thing. It's marketed to hikers. Keep your dirty dishwater out the creek. And it is good for that, but it's good for all water collection. I mean, if you're not going to have tap water running, in a certain emergency situation, take this thing down to a ditch line, dirty creek, fill it up. Then you got a bunch of dirty water. That is where this guy comes in. The water filter. One of the most important things you got. One of the key elements of my pack. I've gone through a lot of filters that I've owned and other people I've known have had. Big pumps and gravity fed filters and whatnot. And filters are pricey. There's a lot of moving parts. The last pump filter I had, one of the pieces actually broke on us on trail on the first day of a 3-day hike. Excuse me. This thing doesn't have any moving parts. It's super small, super light. You fill this guy up with water and you screw the filter end on and just squeeze it like a toothpaste tube. Clean water shoots out. Simple. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but these also, they'll attach to a 20-ounce bottle or 2-liter bottle. You just fill it up with water, screw this on the end, drink out of it. I could drink all this. You can set it in line with a like a Camelback, a filtration. A little filtration on your hydration. There you go. Filtration for your hydration. In that same compartment, I had a flashlight lantern combo made by USO. It's not super bright, but it'll get you through the night. Some situations like this, you might not want to be giving away your location, kind of like the quiet pellet gun. You might not want big bright light, just enough to see by. Exterior, okay. Exterior side. Everything I have, even in the pockets, is carabiner to this thing. Keep a 1-quart metal canteen, obvious reasons, and a small trowel. Digging little cat holes, doing your business, setting posts, building shelters. It's a shovel. They come in handy. Good thing to have. On the side, I'm not going to unlash this, but this guy is a nylon 8x10 tarp. It's grommeted in the corners and the sides and everything. Usually sleep in a hammock under a tarp, which is a lightweight setup, keeps you up off the ground. But the tarps are bulky. There's plastic. they're $10 at Walmart or wherever. 8x10 plastic tarp, but they're this big around. They're heavy. They're bulky. This guy is tiny, weighs nothing. Was pricey though. I picked this fella up at a Bass Pro, and it was $35. So far, it's kind of proven worth it as long as I get enough continuous use, because it is nylon, not the heavy duty plastic. But time will tell. Maybe I'll let you guys know one of these days. Okay, tied to the bottom, just an old school bedroll. Mexican Indian blanket? People call them different things. They're real nice. They're kind of like thermos blankets, man. They keep you nice and warm in the wintertime, but they're not bad in the summer either. Alright, opening the pack. Alright, jumping right out at me. Tent stakes. I like these little aluminum ones. They're nice and lightweight. They're cheap, 99 cents a piece maybe. Guess I need to pick up some more. It's the end of summer season, you know. Like I said, it's just a couple of days after Thanksgiving. So everything's kind of been gone through, used up over the course of the summer. I'm always restocking. Alright, just a handful of tie wraps. Good black tie wraps. These things are tough, you know, they come in handy for all kinds of repairs. You know, there's a million and one uses for some tie wraps. A glow stick, just in case. These are good location markers, you know, leave them at a trailhead or something. I've been out and, you know, meeting people that are camped down a trail off a dirt road. They'll leave this thing swinging at the end of the trail so you can find them at night. You know, there's 101 things you can do with them. I used to put them on my dog's collar so I could find him. Shoot, you can actually, if you had to, you know, you can read a book by this. It's not the greatest thing, but it'll give you some light. Bug spray, 40% deep. It's a small container of it. Bug spray. Alright, back to food. This here's a fishing kit. Keep it in just a little old Crown Royal bag that was laying around. I don't even drink Crown Royal. Wild turkey man. Anyway, this is a tackle box. I put some cloth in it from a flannel shirt just to keep it from jiggling and jangling. But there's some lures and some hooks and some bobbers and some sinkers and, you know, all the little essential tackle type items. Also in the bag, it's a paracord, just rigging stuff up, you know, if you want to run a trout line or something you're going to leave. Speaking of things to leave, the yo-yo fishing reel. Never had the opportunity to actually fish with this because it's against most game laws. It is in Virginia. Now here it is in most states. But you pull this thing out and you set it, bait it, fish hits it, come right back to you. Now if I was in a survival situation, you know, where my life depended on it, I'd pay the fine for using this thing. But it also comes in handy. I've used it a few times just when you need some string, clotheslines, little stuff like that. Just a cool little gadget to have. And of course, I got some regular, just what is this, 100 yards, a 8-pound test, some little cheap fishing line. You know, with the contents of that bag, I can hook it up. You know, take my machete, cut a stick, make me a old cane pole style fishing rod, catch supper. Zombie apocalypse or not, seafood is good. Alright, back to shelter and such, paracord. Man, that's all the paracord that's in here. Like I said, it's the end of the season. I've burned a lot of this stuff up. A couple of projects recently, I used a lot of my cordage. I'm always restocking. Got a 50 cord though, gotta have it. But times that you don't gotta have it, this stuff's great. It's just mason string, bricklayer string. You can pick it up at any Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. Just a couple of bucks for, you know, 150, 250 feet. Stuff's great setting up shelters. This is one I keep inside my shelter. It's just a net hammock. It's a gear hammock. Hang up, you know, handy items, stuff you're working with. Hang dishes up to dry. A lot of times, you know, when I know it's going to get cold at night, I'll maybe throw an extra pair of socks, a beanie in it. You know, hang it right next to the hammock, reach over and grab it. Also come in handy survival style, it's a net. You could probably catch some fish with a net. Just guessing. Okay. And when it's time to eat, I did have a fork, knife, and spoon. These are Boy Scout. I never was an actual Boy Scout, but I've got some of their gear, and I've probably had this 3-piece set since I was 12 years old. Scarfed down many a meal campsite with this. Gonna get to cooking. Gotta have some waterproof matches, waterproof container. Of course, I've always got a Bic lighter in my pocket. I mean, it's a Bic, 1,000 lights. The case to my glasses. Might want to get some rest even in the zombie apocalypse. Want to wake up to a smashed pair of specs. This is my directional compass. Can be used for triangulating. It's a little deeper in here. We'll come across it, but I have the instructions stashed for finding azimuth lines. I've played around with it. I'm not exactly an old hand navigating with this thing, so keep the instructions handy. But good compass for being able to navigate. I've got a series of maps. There are no maps in here because I don't really know where I was to be going. But I've got a bunch of maps of state parks and Virginia maps and whatnot. And, having the two of those be a lifesaver. You don't want to be out there wandering. Also, speaking of stuff that's not in here that I have stashed at the house, is food. A lot of these guys have energy bars and MREs and all kinds of stuff in here, enough to last them 72 hours. I figure, I've got a big blue box you guys have probably seen in some of the camp videos. It's got everything under the sun non-perishable. There's MREs, there's canned goods, there's Slim Jims, there's muffin mix, you know what I mean? So I'll just, for when the this is not a test emergency broadcast comes up, I'll throw a couple of MREs, a couple Cliff Bars, whatever it might be up in here. Want to leave some room though, because you never know what you're going to come across in the field that you might want to pick up and take with you. So you don't want to have your backpack super stuffed. Something might come in handy along the way. Anyway, okay, this is just it's a little makeup mirror, CoverGirl, signaling, first aid, checking yourself out, you might cut in the back or something, and keeping yourself looking good. I need to shave during the zombie apocalypse. Sharpie marker, writes anywhere, lasts a good while. Take notes, communication, directions, what have you. Here we go. Another food provider. David took down Goliath with one. The sling. This thing in a rock. Just might get you a squirrel, rabbit, something small. You're not gonna kill any bears, any deer with this thing, unless you're way better than I am. I don't even know if I could hit a squirrel with it, to be honest with you, but I'd be willing to try. Takes up no room and no weight. It's a piece of leather and a couple of pieces of string. Primitive weapon, but people have been hunting and fighting with them for thousands of years. In the inside compartment, we have your emergency blanket, silver space blanket, could be a lifesaver. Another one, small poncho, just a little emergency one, just in case. That's the instructions in a little Ziploc, the azimuth reading instructions for my compass I was talking about. Oh, yet another compartment. I like to keep a bandana. They come in handy. Water filtration, first aid. I got bad sinuses. I'm going to blow my nose. Just don't use it for first aid after blowing your nose. Probably not a good idea. Anyway, that wasn't gross enough. Bandanas are a good thing to have. Bunch of uses. Keep you warm. Tie around your neck, head. Pack towel. This is a Coleman Exponent. Didn't realize it, but it's pretty much a chamois cloth. They work just as well, but really lightweight. They dry out fast. They suck up a lot of water. And I've taken a shower at the house and dried off with this thing. It works pretty darn well. And just a gallon Ziploc bag. These things come in handy. You got some leftover food stash, water collection once again. Keeping stuff dry. You got some items you don't want to get wet, stick them in the 1 gallon Ziploc. Alright, so that brings us to the main compartment. If I can get it open. In here, I keep an extra, this is a bladder style canteen, where this can be kept in here. You sling it over your shoulder, attach it to the outside of the pack. That gives me a little more water I can carry. That's about 1 liter. So that in my quart gives me 1 liter and a quart I can carry. I could also fill up the bladder that comes with the Sawyer. Another item I keep in here is a set of coveralls. If you do happen to get wet, something, go through a fire or something, this is emergency type stuff. Something happened to your clothing, this would be really nice. Or if the temperature dropped, if your flight be in the winter, Start getting cold, you know. This hooded Tabeck thing, I know they're hot. I've used them on job sites and whatnot. Excuse me. This thing should keep you pretty warm. Fortunately, I've never had to bundle up in it inside my sleeping bag or anything, but got it if I need it. Full body hooded coveralls. This is a toiletry kit. Now this will show you. Back to the water filter. This is the bag my original water filter came in. It's about this size, maybe a bit more bulky. That's the new one. 400 gallons, 1,000 gallons. Need I say more? Sawyer Mini. If you want the CreekWater Cooks to do an endorsement, we could come up with a little, maybe a little design, you know, with our logo and stuff. Endorse these things. Come on, Sawyer, give me a call. All right. Toiletry bag. Just the basics, man. You need some TP. Some of the stuff's missing out of here. Like I said, it's the end of the season. We got some Purell, some camp soap. Usually keep a little travel deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, that sort of thing. You know, whatever you need to keep yourself fresh. Let's see. Always have to keep God's Word. I got King James Bible here, Ziploc bag to keep it nice and safe. I got one of those little tiny ones, but the little bitty ones, they only have the Psalms and the Proverbs and the New Testament. This is the Old and New Testament. That's the whole shebang. So, if you ask me, that's one of the most important things in the pack. Call me Denzel Washington. All right, then my cup, Snow Peak Titanium. It's indestructible, man. Just drank many a cup of coffee and many a mixed drink through this thing. But you know, you can put it right on the fire. You can boil your water, cook for filtration, cooking. It's a good thing to have. Inside of it, I got my LED headlamp wrapped up in another bandana. But yeah, you see my multi-setting energizer. And a lot of these things are super expensive. You know, you go to these high-end outfitter shops and you get $70, $80 for these things. I mean, pick this guy up at the Home Depot for like 15 bucks. It's made by Energizer. You know, it's not super bright like some of the more expensive ones, but once again, you can see to get through what you're doing. I've cooked many a meal. I've stumbled around plenty in the dark. And, it's never let me down. Next inside is the real deal poncho. This is a full size military spec poncho. They're awesome because they make great shelters. I think just about every survivalist and prepper out there knows that military ponchos make sweet little tents. They also, a cool feature is once you expand them, they have two-sided buttons, so you can actually take and button them together and add your ponchos together to make a big shelter. So it comes in handy either way. Make a shelter out of it or wear it like a poncho. They also make good ground covers. Just another tarp supplement. And to go with my tarp and my shelter, inside is my Eagle's Nest hammock. I'm not going to break this thing out, but it's a nice, you know, like silk parachute material hammock. Hang it right between the trees, keeps you up off the ground. They seem to be getting a lot more popular nowadays. I've been sleeping in one out in the field for quite some time now. In the last few years, I see more and more people out there, you know, strung up between the trees. It's kind of cool. It's lightweight, it's comfortable, it's much better on your back than the ground, obviously. That's the hammock. Okay, we got a technology center. Of course, everybody's got a cell phone with them, but in crazy times of emergency, that might not work too good. So in here, got an Eaton Red Cross AM/FM radio. It's also got the weather band stations on it. She's solar powered, or you can flip it, crank it. It's dynamo powered. Like I said, it's AM/FM weather band, flashlight. Flashlight likes to stay on. Thing gets pretty good reception. I've had it for a number of years now. Put it through some heck. It's always done me really well. Thing is, this is not it's not an entertainment radio. If you and the boys are sitting around the fire, throwing a couple back and listening to K95, you're gonna be cranking the crap out of that thing. So that's why it's in the emergency kit. All right, emergency first aid. This is my first aid kit, and this is wrapped in yet another black bandana. Yes, I have an affinity for black bandanas, but they come in handy. This is a military spec minor surgery kit. It actually should slide right out of here. Yeah, it's a military spec. I'm not exactly a surgeon myself, but you know, if worse come to worse, at least you have the tools to do what's necessary. This thing compact. I'm not pulling all this out, but you know, there's hemostats and scalpels and sutures and all that good stuff. Hopefully that's something I will never have to use, but it's a good thing to have. Other than that, I have my standard first aid kit. It's a kit I've made. I've tweaked this thing out over the years. Alcohol, a lighter, all kinds of, you know, burn creams, sting creams, poison ivy, poison oak relief, you know, needle threads, scissors, tweezers, gauze, bandages, band-aids. I keep some medical tape, some electric tape, some first aid basics here, some information, because shoot, I could be the one that's laying there unconscious bleeding, and you know, they could find my my kit and not know what to do with it. But you know, first aid kits, I can't really go into everything that needs to go into them. Maybe we'll do a separate video on CreekWater first aid. That seems to be the interior of the pack. Oh, also on the exterior, on the front handle, I keep a 3-inch fixed blade knife. You can see I wrapped the handle in paracord, just to have in case of emergency. Keep a little 2-inch blade pocket knife on the front strap, and a small directional compass, just so it can keep me from digging through and getting the big one. Grab it and check my direction, make sure I'm on the right orientation. But yeah, I mean, that sets you up for navigation, food, water, fire, shelter. You're good. You got the radio, you got lights, you got the Bible, you got it all. So that's my grab and go bag. Like I said, y'all post some comments, let me know if I missed anything, or if there's anything y'all think's unnecessary or that I should change. Yeah, try it. That did the bug out thing. Like I said, it was a cool challenge to me, being a hiker and stuff. Anytime you hike, you know, you try to figure out, it's not what you need to take with you, it's what you don't need. So taking that, you know, from a weekend of fun up on the Appalachian Trail or whatever to, you know, the zombie attack at the end of the world. Seeing what I walk out my front door with. I mean, I laugh, but you know, disasters, dude. There's floods and earthquakes, and Lord knows, you know. So if I had to walk out my front door and didn't know where I was going or how to, or, you know what I mean? The bug out scenario, the stuff hits the fan. I think this kid would at least get me pretty far. Definitely proven worth its weight in gold as far as little weekend excursions and stuff like that. Even when I did the Thai River videos, I mean, and packing the truck, I had a lot more than just it, but I was able to grab it and go, and it saved me a lot of packing time. Well, for now, that's my bug out bag, and that's my bug out bag video. I'm CreekWater Cody. Y'all, well, I'll see y'all out in the woods on the trail. Till next time.